Put it two ways. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, something to be condemned, to take your own individual life seriously, in dead earnest, and to have all the problems that go with that. Do you understand that being that way, that being a real mixed up human being, is a manifestation of nature? That is something just like patterns on the waves out here. Patterns on the waves. Patterns on the waves. Patterns on the waves. On the wave. Or like a seashell. You know, we pick up shells. I always keep one around, as sort of an example for many things. Say, my goodness, isn't that gorgeous? There's not an aesthetic fault in it anywhere. It's absolutely perfect. I wonder if these fish look at each other's shells and say, don't you think she's kind of fat? Oh my, those markings aren't really very well spaced. Because that's what we do. Patterns on the wave. Patterns on the wave. That's what we do. Patterns on the wave. Patterns on the wave. That's what we do. See, we don't realize that all of us, in our various goings-on and behavior and so on, are just as much and more marvelous, much more complicated, much more interesting. All these gorgeous faces that I'm looking at. You know, every one of them. Some are supposedly pretty, some are supposedly not so pretty. But they're all absolutely gorgeous. And everybody's eyes is a piece of jewelry beyond compare. Beautiful. 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 Patterns on the wave. Patterns on the wave. That's what we do. Patterns on the wave. Patterns on the wave. That's what we do.
Akira.
He's got clout.
The web of life. Let me try from the first to indicate the point that we're aiming at. The point is this, that human consciousness is at the same time as being a form of awareness and sensitivity and understanding, it's also a form of ignorance. The ordinary everyday consciousness that we have leaves out more than it takes in. The ordinary everyday consciousness that we have leaves out more than it takes in. And because of this, it leaves out things that are terribly important. It leaves out things that would, if we did know them, allay our anxieties and fears and horrors. And if we could extend our awareness, you see, to include those things that we leave out, we would have a deep interior peace. Because we would all know the one thing that you mustn't know. The ordinary everyday consciousness that we have leaves out more than it takes in. The ordinary everyday consciousness that we have leaves out more, you know, according to the rules of our particular social game. The one thing you mustn't know, that's really not allowed, that is the lowdown on life. And the lowdown, on the one hand, means the real dirt on things. But the lowdown is also what is profound, what is mysterious, what is in the depths. And there's something left out. And our everyday consciousness screens this out in the same way that when you say you have weaving, you have, say, on this rug here in front of us, when the black finishes here, the black threads will go underneath and then appear again over here, then they'll go underneath the white and then they'll appear again over here, you know? So that the back will be the obverse pattern of the front. Now, the world is like that. The ordinary everyday consciousness that we have leaves out more than it takes in. The ordinary everyday consciousness that we have leaves out more than it takes in. Our sense organs are selective. They pick out certain things. They're receptive. For example, we have a small band, what you might call a spectrum of light, of sound, of tactile sensation, and so on, to which the human organism is sensitive. But we know that outside that small band, there is a huge range of vibrations to which we have built instruments that are sensitive. Things like cosmic rays, ultraviolet rays, gamma rays, hard X-rays, and so on. They're all outside the band of our spectrum. And obviously, there are things that are outside the range of our instruments. We may build new instruments someday which will evoke, bring into our consciousness other orders of vibration altogether, but yet, as yet, we don't know about them. So you could imagine, you see, the universe is a vast system of vibrations and has infinite possibilities. The ordinary everyday consciousness that we have leaves out more than it takes in. The ordinary everyday consciousness that we have leaves out more than it takes in. The ordinary everyday consciousness that we have leaves out more than it takes in.
He's got clout.
The outside thing that you see and the inside thing that you are poles of the same magnet, or back and front of the same coin. Without one, there isn't the other. That means, of course, that we are living in the midst of a world of animals, vegetables, minerals, atmospheres, astronomical bodies. It's highly intelligent. Its intelligence concentrated, crystallized in our brains. That's where it comes out, see, in any field. The outside thing that you see and the inside thing that you are poles of the same magnet, or back and front of the same coin. Without one, there isn't the other. Let's take any field of forces. We take a chemical solution, and at certain critical points in this chemical solution, the crystals start to form. And so in the same way, the total intelligence of this whole universe crystallizes in human brains, also in other kinds of brains. That's where it really comes out. But it's the total intelligence of the whole field that does this. So we go with the whole thing, interdepend with it. The outside thing that you see and the inside thing that you are poles of the same magnet, or back and front of the same coin. Without one, there isn't the other. We don't live in an environment which is just rock, just air, just atmosphere and so on. The environment's only like that when we think about it analytically and try to explain it. But when we think of it isn't just rock and air, see, but those things go together. When you see the interconnectedness, when you see in the simplest way how flowers go with bees and other insects, they don't live without them. Humans go with cattle, they don't exist without them. Plants, etc., etc., etc. When you see the interval, the significance of the relationships between these, it's only then that you are aware of the melody. The outside thing that you see and the inside thing that you are poles of the same magnet, or back and front of the same coin. Without one, there isn't the other. The person who can't hear melody, who's tone deaf, he hears only a succession of sounds because he's not aware of the intervals. Now, most people are brought up to be tone deaf in respect to their own existence and the rest of the universe. They don't see the relationships. They're not aware of the universe. Once you spot that, you spot how everything goes with the thing. But you are one end, and that out there is the other end. And they really go together. Then you may be said to be living a harmonious life.